have you ever been compelled to follow your heart, no matter where it would lead or what it would cost you? That's exactly what St. Kateri Tekakwitha did. I'll give you a little backstory. So she was born in a Mohawk village in 1656 in what is today the New York area. Her father was the Mohawk chief, and her mother was Algonquin, and her mother was a Christian. Don't know exactly where her mother found her Christianity, if it was before she came to the tribe or while she was there in the Mohawk village, but her mother was a Christian. And she had a brother, don't know if he was older or younger than her, but a smallpox epidemic came through and the entire family is killed, except she survives. And she's disfigured from it. She has marks all over her face, and she also has damage to her eyes. And so her name, Tekakwitha, that means one who bumps into things. When her mom and dad died, she was 4, but we don't know exactly, like was she closer to 5? Does she have much memory of her parents or no memory at all? That was unclear. Did her mother have a chance to teach her anything? If she was closer to 5, her mother probably taught her a lot and she remembered. Regardless, the missionaries, the French missionary priests would come and go, and she never was allowed to go and learn from them or approach them at all. However, there's talk that she'd overhear or others, and she would try to get a little bit because from a very young age and all through her life as a youth, she was drawn to the priests and to the truth of Christianity. So at 17 years old, her aunt decides it's time to marry her. She'd learned all the skills that she was supposed to learn, and it was marrying age. And she refuses, and she even hides out in the woods to keep from being married off. And because she refuses to marry, she is mistreated badly. Something inside her had an aversion to marriage. She knew that wasn't what she wanted. This is the 17th century in a village where your roles are really set. There's not much options for a woman who doesn't marry. When she's 18, she finally gets up the courage to go and speak with the priest, Father Jacques Lamberville. And she bears her heart, tells him, I don't want to get married. I want to become a Christian, and maybe tells him about her mother. And anyway, he ends up baptizing her and teaching her. And her baptismal name then is Catherine. And so the Mohawk version is Kateri. And I've also heard it pronounced Kateri. But it's really difficult for her to live as a Christian in this village. And she's treated very badly, almost like a slave. And they won't even feed her on Sundays, since she refuses to work on Sunday because that's the day she keeps holy. The mistreatment is dehumanizing, to say the least. And also they generate rumors about her that get spread. And one of the rumors is that she's practicing black magic and sorcery. And so the priest, Father Jacques, he knows that she's kind of been going through a white martyrdom, She's really suffered. She'd had to die to herself completely and give up any happiness in the tribe to be a Christian. And so she's been suffering this way. But now that these rumors have gone around about her, he's worried about her safety, that it might not just be a white martyrdom, but perhaps even a real martyrdom, that her life is in danger. So he advises her to leave the village, and that he and some others are traveling to the French mission, which is south of Montreal on the St. Lawrence River, and she should go there to live. And so it's over 200 miles. It takes them a couple months to get there, but she goes, she leaves. Now I think about the way she was treated. That's normal in human history, scapegoating. Families do it, small groups do it, Large groups do it, tribes, nations. I listened to a show by Bishop Robert Barron about this, and it really is something that human beings can easily fall into. And it can start very innocently almost with a little grain of truth. And anyway, the anxiety of a group, large or small, or a family, it gets placed on this person and they're blamed for everything, and all that anxiety gets put there. And so the person who is the scapegoat suffers. I can imagine that this trip was a important watershed moment in her life, that she was leaving everything behind, and she had to allow Jesus to heal her, and she had to forgive the treatment and move forward to this new life. But that takes healing, because that was her tribe, those were her people, and she has to walk away from all of it. And we know that she did forgive, because unforgiveness would be a barrier to her sainthood, and she becomes a saint. And also, she did penances for her people. So we know that hardness of heart, if there was any at all, was gone. And I think that's very possible that a journey like that, with the physicalness of it and the counseling from the priest and learning about Jesus and his healing and everything, that all of that would just prepare her for arriving at this mission for her next chapter in life. And when she arrives, there's this beautiful surprise for her. Anastasia is there. And Anastasia has been living there, and she was a friend of her mother's. She even knew Kateri as a child. At 23, Kateri consecrates herself to Jesus. He's the only bridegroom she wants, and she wants to be his bride, totally belonging to him. And there's a couple of gals also at the mission who want the same thing. And so when they talk to Father Jacques, they kind of want to create a religious community. And he says, not yet, not yet. You need to learn more. You need to grow more and before you reach that point. But in the meantime, this little group, along with Father Jacques, their goal is to evangelize all of New France. All of New France. That is quite a goal. So we know that Kateri, her health wasn't the best. She's not real strong, the effects of the smallpox that she had when she was 4. And also her penances, which were very severe, and she did for her people to bring them to Christ. It was just the way she did things. And, Father Jacques and the other missionaries counseled her to dial it back, because it wasn't good for her, but it did have a toll on her health. And so when she falls ill, she's 24 years old, she falls ill, she dies. The people who were with her when she died witnessed that after death, her face, which had many scars and marks, was clear and became radiant. And a couple of weeks later, women at the mission said she had actually appeared to them. If you've ever been the one who is not wanted or needed to be gotten rid of, if you were the scapegoat or you were blamed, you're in good company, because Saint Kateri Tekakwitha, the first Native American saint, was in the same boat as you, and you can go to her. She's a friend. Just like she appeared to those 2 women, she will make herself known in your life if you need her. Saint Kateri, pray for us.